I'm Chris Love for cleverpig.org, and with us today for our Sailor Spotlight, it's Will Ladow from San Diego. Welcome.
How's it going, Chris? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's going great. So Will, tell us, when did you start sailing, and when did you know that you were hooked on it?
Probably about 5 or 6 years old. I was down at San Diego Yacht Club in the summer program. My parents kind of threw me in there at a young age, and it just kind of took off from there.
And what inspired you to dedicate so much of your life, especially as you get older and you have more choices about doing that, to dedicate so much of your time to this sport?
I think it started off with my father and my grandfather before that. My grandfather worked with Dennis Conner through a lot of his America's Cup work, and then that kind of passed on to my dad, and he's always loved sailing, and then which has also been passed on to my brother and I, and we've really taken it for ourselves and enjoyed it a bunch, and just the greatest thing to have.
You mentioned your family. Who else? Who's been the most influential in your sailing career over the years?
Probably my father or my brother. My father was the first one to throw me in the boat, and then my brother's always been there to help push me and to look up to as well.
Now that you've achieved an awful lot of success in the Club 420 and the circuit in the summer and in high school, what can you give for advice? What kind of training and steps can you take to reach the level that you've achieved?
I think a big part of it is doing both high school sailing and regular sailing, like with spinnakers and trapeze and all that stuff. I think it gives you a really good, well-rounded skill set. I think high school is more short course, and it gives you that more aggressive style of sailing, and then you can take longer courses, which is more ease and more speed driven. And I think that knowing both of those aspects of sailing is really helpful. I think overall just focus on speed and then just try to learn as much as you can along the way from people that are better than you, so you can just become as good as you can.
And where have those lessons come from for you? What kind of people have you learned from?
I think the biggest influence that I've gotten over the year from an excellent sailor is my high school sailing coach, Steve Hunt. He's been really influential in my life as well as countless others on our sailing team. And he's really just helped us out to be such successful sailors and to know what to do in every situation and just kind of take sailing by the horns.
And of course, we've got the Orange Bowl Regatta coming up just after Christmas, 2013. How does this regatta compare to the other summer regattas, the other regattas on the junior circuit?
I've always looked forward to Orange Bowl. I've had success there in the past, and I just love the warm weather there. I don't know, it's just a nice break from freezing jackets and pants. I don't know, but it's a big event. It's usually up to 100 boats around there, and competition's really good. Some of the best sailors from around the country get to come together and duke it out. In the past year or two, I think it's been one of the more competitive events of the year. It really just depends who shows up, and I think the last couple of years has been pretty competitive, so I enjoyed that.
And what are the keys to success on a line like that with so many boats and so much talent? How do you get out in front and stay there?
I think the biggest thing last year was managing, being conservative with taking a little risk. Like on the start line, if the pin's favored, but there's a ton of people out there, I'm not going to go risk getting OCS or whatever. I'm going to start maybe towards the middle of the line a little bit more. And other than that, just focus on boat speed. I think boat speed was the biggest thing last year, just more light air sailing. And I felt pretty confident in my boat speed, and I think that reflected in the result.
And do you have any tips that are venue specific for Miami, or is it more tactical managing that fleet?
To be honest, I don't really have any any type of knowledge about or like specific tips for Miami. I just tried to have an open mind and kind of observe and try to make the best decision on what my surroundings told me.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to following you at Miami next week. And then where will we see you next in the sailing circuit?
I think I'm going to be sailing 420 minute winners as well.
Excellent. Well, best of luck to you, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.